This video is sponsored by Tradecraft. Create your tags, tag your trades, store your recordings, create screenshots, and look at your statistics. You have the ability to create statistics using several widgets. You're able to place them wherever you please, having a place where you can store all your playbook trades, and you can quickly flip through them, studying all your trades. Tradecraft is more than a journal. It is a tagging software that allows you to create the statistics you need, where you have the ability to filter your trades out on an extremely deep level, allowing you to figure out exactly where your edge might be. For more information, check out the link in the description of this video or visit tradecraft.club.
What is up, everybody? Hump Day episode 3. Got a special guest here. It's gonna be Chronic. So you can unmute your fucking mic and say hi to everybody.
What's up?
So let me actually pull up your journal. God, I don't want to hit that button, because if I hit that button, there's gonna be a problem. Give me a. This sucks. Give me a mic check one more time.
Test 1 2 3.
Right,
Test 1 2
sucks.
3.
It sucks when I'm talking and then it didn't record it. But anyways, here's his journal. You were trading this account. I probably should share screens so you guys in the Discord can see it. There you go. I think I started coaching you right around here, and due to the results of my coaching, you can see he's started doing bad. So would you like to speak on behalf of that?
Well, putting it kindly and simply, it's not easy. I think had I started trading here without team trading and without coaching, I would have blown multiple accounts by now. And for people who don't know, I trade through the futures desk, and they're a prop firm like others. So with resets and stuff like that, although they try to be a little bit more forgiving than other prop firms.
Yeah.
But it's at the end of the day, it's still a prop firm, and I would have blown multiple accounts in the last couple weeks had it not been for the accountability, as well as just like calling out trades and saying, hey, don't trade here, don't take that trade, or hey, you should cut that trade, or hey, you should push this trade a little further. It doesn't look good on paper, that P&L curve, but it would be a lot worse.
That's the thing. So we've been coaching for, it looks like the beginning of March. What, a month and a half?
Yeah, 6 weeks almost.
You would have blown out an account by now.
Yeah, multiple, in my opinion.
So when I looked at his statistics, and I was looking at the way this curve was going up initially, it was some pretty janky trading. And then when we first started coaching, you were getting 100% win rates, which you weren't getting on this drive up. And then we started coaching, and part of me is like, holy fuck, am I like fucking you up? But then there would be times where I let you trade on your own, and you would just make mistakes. So,
well, not even mistakes, but I would go on tilt. Like, I think the only days where you've let me trade by myself in this high VIX environment, I've gone on tilt, and I've gone straight to daily loss limit.
There's been others, well, besides the high VIX, I'm talking about when you hit the peak of this curve and it started pulling down. There were, remember?
Well, even then, that was still relatively high VIX for me, man. Like that uptrend you're seeing was like 13 VIX, 15 VIX. The day it peaked out was the first announcement of tariffs. So it wasn't Liberation Day or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
That wasn't until like last week. But it was when tariffs were announced, and we shot up to like VIX 30 or some shit. I started struggling the same day, dude. The same fucking day.
Yeah, VIX started going up February. Let's take a look. Somewhere's right in here.
Yeah.
is when it started to go up. I mean, a lot of people. That's the thing. A lot of people base performance on P&L curve. Now that you've been doing this, has your vision of what trading is changed at all?
It's done a complete 180, dude. It's not at all what I thought it was.
What?
And I thought I had a pretty good understanding. Like I've been trading for 4 years. I've only been trading futures for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had a good idea. Like I've always been a review nerd. I always review my sessions. I've always been super like introspective and focusing on emotions and stuff like that. But the last 6 weeks have taught me that like it's so hard to put into words. Trading is it's it's the easiest, hardest money you'll ever make because it requires just an insane amount of focus, dedication, introspection. It's anything but easy.
What do you think you've learned coaching with me? And just
Nothing.
real quick, just so you guys know, we have been sharing Sierra charts. I highly recommend it. Let me share it. There's something up here, file chart book sharing. You can share, and I put in his username. So whenever I'm drawing shit like this, it is happening on a screen pretty much right away. There's been a lot of fucking pivots and shifts and adjustments we've made. What have you learned through this coaching session with me, like this month and a half? Like, it's been rough too. Just
Yes,
for
it's
the record.
not been easy. Not easy. And for whoever's next in line, like probably Miller or whoever, just get ready. Get ready because it's not easy. I think if there was one critical change to my trading that's taken place over the last 6 weeks, it's focusing on clarity. And I had already focused on clarity going back to like November. It has been on my radar. But I didn't really understand what clarity was. I understood the concept, and I've watched your videos, and you've even told me what clarity is, and like the focus table and stuff like that. But I didn't understand what a huge change that has made to my P&L. And of course, we're looking at it as downtrending, so take that with a grain of salt. But my day-to-day P&L is so much more consistent, albeit drawdown, than it was a couple weeks ago. Like even this morning, I was looking at my old trades, and it was like I was struggling. I would have 20, 30 trades in a day, all over the place. $300 loss, $300 winner, $50 loss, $200 winner, $500 loser, just bouncing, because I was confused. I didn't know what I was doing.
This just real quick. This is his raw P&L curve. Notice it's pretty flat. This is confusion. This is clarity. This is in between clarity and confusion. It's in my opinion that this specific tag is what is making and breaking traders. Every trader seems to perform really horrible here because I think Edge is elusive with technicals and shit. And I think when it comes to psychology or your ability to, because you're part of the equation, right? So you're part of the equation. You're making trading decisions. You have to be clear about that price action. And the traders that are using this tag combo in the journal, it all looks like this. Mine's looks like this. Yuki's looks like this. Him and I actually had a conversation yesterday, which I don't know. He might jump off, but I do want to kind of go over his thing on it because we had a long discussion yesterday about clarity because we were in high VIX. VIX receded rapidly, and we'll talk about VIX here in a moment, but Yuki and I had a conversation because he's like, hey, how do I make adjustments? How do I make P&L? How do I manage my trade? Cat styles emotion based, to be honest. Some styles are less mentally fatiguing. I don't know, man. Everybody I fucking work with, their emotions are fucking them. Every single one of these traders. I haven't met somebody personally yet where it's not causing issues. I just have not seen it yet. And when that happens, I will let you know. But Yuki was talking to me yesterday. We had a meeting. He's getting fucked up on... Like, he's having a hard time. And it's like VIX went in, right? VIX was 50. It came in. And he's asking me, how do I adjust my trades? I'm like, I can't tell you. And he kept asking me, how do I... Like, he wanted these black and white answers. And trading is not black and white. It's gray. So we started looking at a bunch of tags, and clarity was a big one for him. So we had a long discussion. I'm like, your focus needs to be cleaning up this clarity. Because his curve looks like just like this. So we had a conversation. He said something that really clicked for me on our call yesterday. Hand management made me realize that I'm not allowed to make a mistake. Either managing poorly my trade or taking confused trades. Loss with hand management hurt way more the P&L. That's why I need to aim for excellent performance. With black and white management, it was more about how many losses I can take, and that thinking that I can make a mistake. It's not about excellent performance, but just numbers. So he's talking about the difference between hand management and just putting the fucking trade on, where you just have a target and a stop, which I don't really agree with. Chronic, would you like to speak on hand management?
Yeah, I think there are people a lot smarter than me who have spoken on it, and I tend to piggyback off what they think. And the statistics point in favor of discretionary trading. Not to say that systematic trading isn't profitable. You know, I think Christian Qualamagi is like a systematic trader, and he's like 9 figures or some shit. But discretionary traders outperform algorithms. Maybe systematic, I'm not sure, but definitely algorithms. And it's because the human brain...
And we're speaking about algos made by other humans, not necessarily
Yes.
an HFT firm, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. We're talking retail. We're talking retail here. The human brain is capable of so much more than anything you could program into an algorithm, at least for the time being. And even then, even if you did have a Google supercomputer running an algorithm, which I'm sure some big companies do, but even at that level, the computer isn't going to understand the nuances, and it's not going to have that gut feeling that's just inexplicable, man. Like I can't explain it. Sometimes I get into a trade and I'm like, I gotta cut it. I gotta get out of this trade.
Yeah, because the
now.
expected value changes. The price action's talking to you, and you're starting to understand that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And by the way, he's modeling the shit out of me, 100%.
Yep.
Let me finish Yuki's things. He said, Yuki is a very, his MO is different than us. We talked about MO. Let me actually pull that up. And I think it's important to get trader, like there's a video called Modus operandi. It's in my library. It's a newer video. It's here. This is Yuki. He's highly systematic. Not nearly as risk-seeking as me. I'm not systematic as much, and I'm more aggressive with risk. Chronic, his MO looks just like mine. And I know Yuki was complaining he had a hard time understanding my trading, and I had a conversation with him, and he was using a lot of what I share, and we just decided to have him start building out more of a systematic approach, which seems to be working for him. But he says the idea of either, and this is management, black and white versus discretionary. The idea of either everything is perfect, either you're going to suffer from a bigger loss, is really motivating. Every single trade I took, I tried so damn much to be clear as possible. This was today, by the way. And that made a difference. So his focus is clarity. Chronic's focus is clarity, because I told Chronic, because yesterday he just kind of went into degen mode. I'm noticing that, I notice he starts to get real quiet on the mic, and then he starts to, because we're constantly communicating, sharing the charts. He gets really quiet, and then he just starts saying, I'm going to probably take a trade here. And I'm like, makes no fucking sense. So I told him clarity is the most important, both of these guys. And they need to clean that up. If they can clean that up, their statistics will boost substantially. I mean, if we look at your journal, I mean, fuck. You know, he had, by the way, Chronic, you're flounder fucking around 1,800 right now, maybe less. I don't think this has commissions in it. But I think you need to make $3,000, correct?
Yep.
I mean, you're talking he'd be up fucking eight grand if he wasn't dealing with this. Well, I mean, you still have the in-betweens, which I think are not necessarily bad tags.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But
yeah,
probably be a little less, but still, I mean, we could probably say, hey, page filter, don't show us confused, and you would be, let's put the markers on. Yes, somewhere up there, actually. I guess you are positive on the yellow, guys. But anyways, I know we're all over the place. So Yuki is focusing on clarity, which that's the main discussion here. I think this is why traders are fucking failing at a high fucking rate. It's because you guys are taking fucking trades and you're not sure what the fuck is going on. He says, I see now as an excellent sport. When you look at JO performance, it's like 5 minutes, but not a single mistake is allowed. My trading session should be the same. That's another thing, is fucking errors. Like professional baseball, if they drop the ball in the fucking outfield or whatever, that's an error. You can't make mistakes. At least the way Chronic and I are trading, like maybe one mistake, but you can't make two mistakes. I don't know. There's something about you just can't make fucking mistakes. There's certain environments where you can be a little sloppier. Like today, you had a fucking stellar pulse check. But anyways, Yuki's saying the session was the first time I could execute my trades only during clarity moment, and I could stay away from the moment where I was confused. I'm so excited to develop that skill. Thank you so much. So that's the thing, is like Yuki is also focusing on clarity, and it's making a difference for me, for Chronic, for Yuki. I know this isn't the highest sample rate of traders, but for those of you out there that might be floundering or struggling, and Yuki mentioned that clarity is a skill. You need to be aware that when you're looking at the price action, you're like, do I even know what the fuck is going on? That's why it's like, for example, it's helpful to use the loop timer up here and run a loop timer. You don't need to use the Tradecraft journal. You can use a spreadsheet or whatever, but like run a loop timer and then just check in every few minutes and am I fucking clear? This one, and this won't change his journal. I can't. But just check in. I kind of know what's going on, or I don't. So pulse check is when you're looking at the price action on a small time frame, and you're able to predict these micro movements. And Chronic had a great pulse check today. He was on fire. What was interesting is you were down in the dumps really bad yesterday because you got fucked up yesterday. you did well today. Let me come to here. You did well today. I'm like, because I'm like, I could tell you were so crushed because he's been floundering on this account for a while. And I told you if this takes 3 months, I don't give a fuck. If we're gonna sit here and coach together, because this is not even like coaching. This is like, I'm a senior trader, he's a junior trader, and we are on the team. It is full-blown team trading. He's 100% doing what I'm doing. And I mean, if the account fucking dicks around for 6 months, a year, as long as he can keep it alive, that to me is the most important thing. And I know you're down in the dumps because when you experience a loss, humans, and I talked to you about this today, it hurts 2 to 3 times more when you take a fucking loss than a win. So when you take that loss, naturally you want to relieve that pain. And it's like that meme where the guy puts the stick in the bicycle spoke and then he falls down and hurts himself. You got to be careful because you start to get in this cycle where you're trying to relieve the pain of it, but you're just making it worse. And I know that you're not too happy because it's like one day we do good, the next day you fucking suck. Then you do good, then you suck. Then you do good, then you suck. And I know that's waning on you mentally. I know this is the longest you've kept an account alive for. I can just tell at this point when you're near the end. And then you had a talk with Miller, and I walked in, and then you perked up because we reviewed our book of charts today. I reviewed yesterday's session. You were quiet as fuck. And then I don't know what happened between you and Miller. I came in the middle of the conversation, but he was just talking about scalping, and you perked up. If you'd like to address that.
Well, one thing, if there was one thing that made the biggest difference between yesterday and today, and just know my problems aren't fixed today. You know, tomorrow I could fucking have a red day again. It doesn't matter. But today I perked up because I had gone back and looked at some of my recordings in the journal from February. So,
Lower VIX.
yes, lower VIX. And for those who don't know, you can save your live streamed YouTube recordings to the journal. So I was able to go back to February and instantly look at trades. I'm not trying to sell your product here or anything, but it's cool, dude. It makes me
part
excited.
of February, just anywhere in there.
Go to like 21 or 24, 25 maybe. Yeah, look at how many fucking trades those are.
So
dude.
you
But
started
look,
rewatching these recordings in here?
yes, and I had to take it with a grain of salt because this was not good trading, quote unquote,
And
because my P&L was all over the place.
That's the thing. This was developed for these guys. That's why we made it. So you watched these recordings, right?
I spent probably about an hour watching these recordings this morning. And the important thing that I took away from it was just 2 ticks, man. 3 ticks. That's all it took. And this was in my stride. I had hit some sort of stride, and granted, it was very volatile. It was not consistent, but I had hit some sort of stride in these couple weeks that was producing results. I had 14 winning days in a row or something crazy like that. And I wanted to know, what was I doing and how can I replicate that? And the conclusion I came to was I need to be content with just a couple ticks. As soon as it pops in my favor, take it off. As soon as it pops against me, take it off. You know, like look how quick I'm taking that trade off, like instantly, you know?
That's another thing. Continue to speak. I don't.
The conclusion I came to was that I've been overthinking VIX. It's important to adjust. Like I think on Liberation Day we had like a 500 point range or something like that, and I had to drop down size. There's no way I could have did it without it.
Before we get into VIX, high VIX, because I do want to definitely talk about that. Let's look at. I do want to show this because you're talking about being very conservative with your fucking trading. Yeah. He's got aggressive here. That's aggressive trading. This is like really pushing a trade. And I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
or
when in
chasing the
doubt,
trade,
scalp it
exiting.
out.
Yeah.
And then we'll make the raw equity curve white. Look at his conservative versus his aggressive. This is why his P&L curve's so goddamn flat. This was another thing we fucking talked about. He needs clarity, but he needs to just be conservatively trading, because aggressive trading it's like straight the same angle of attack as your conservative trading, and they're fucking neutral. They're canceling each other out.
Yeah.
And that's what you've come down to. Now, coming back to VIX 50, you haven't experienced that before, correct?
No.
And we were trading. So the way I have him trading is he needs 5 stop outs. He needs 5 fucking tries. Because I think 3 tries is too tight. Because like then you get in your fucking head about it. I think traders should have at least 5 stops, whether you take the full stop or not. There needs to be 5 of those. At least that's what we're doing right now. And obviously with higher VIX, and I wrote a blog. I'll link it in this video after this stream on volatility. It's actually on the Tradecraft website. I wrote a big blog on high volatility and how to navigate it. It's pretty good. It's the same price action. It just stretched. So you can't, if he's averaging 4 to 8 ticks, he can't do that anymore. We needed to be going for 5-point minimums. That's 20 ticks. And we needed 15 and 20 points of risk in high VIX. I made that adjustment. I sized down from 12 to 6, and since he's trading for the futures desk, because that's my money partner right now, he can't take more risk. He's fixed to his risk, so he can't. Because I went from, I risk about 3 to 4 grand in a session. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna risk about 15,000, and I'm gonna size down to 6 lots, because that seems nuts, but you can make that on the winning side pretty quick, and it was happening quick. So VIX 50 comes in. I quickly identify the adjustments he needs to make, and you did really well on that Monday. I think you had 100% win rate right as that happened, and I had you size down to 1 fucking micro, because that would have give you the 5 things. You did really good on Monday, but then it started to fuck with you mentally, if you want to talk about that.
I think again, and this is an issue I'm still struggling with today. I think I was overthinking VIX. It's not as easy as 50 VIX size down, 12 VIX size up. It's not that clear. It's not that black and white. Because while it is the same price action but stretched, there are nuances. Just because it's 50 VIX doesn't mean we're going to have these clear moves, loose price action, and respecting the reclaims and all this stuff. It's like 50 VIX can still be tight. 50 VIX can still be doing, 5-point rotations. But the tricky part is it'll blow you out for 20 points. It's so nuanced. And on Monday, not this Monday, by the way, I think this was last Monday, Liberation Day, it was that wide, loose 50 VIX. I was able to catch those moves. I had a 20-point stop loss. I was comfortable. I could take 10 points of profit, 15 points of profit. I think I even pushed some for like 30 points, But the following couple days, it got tight. It got really tight. And suddenly, a winner was only giving me 5 points, maybe less. But a loser would still take me out for 20 points. And that was more of a psychological thing than anything, because I got way too comfortable with that 20-point stop. And I was like, I would enter a trade, and the expected value would only give me 5 points. But I was like, that's not worth it. But I would stay in the trade. I wouldn't cut it. I would let it come all the way to my stop loss.
And this was partially my fault. So the thing is, as I coach with him, or team trade, really, that it's different. It's both.
Mhm.
But as I'm trading with Chronic, the problem is like I'm pretty good at understanding what the market is. I have a really good pulse of it. I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure you could fucking vouch for me on that one.
Yeah.
The problem is when I'm starting to get confused, or maybe my emotions start to flare up a little bit, because it does happen. I'm starting to like kind of not. I'm starting to get into some bad trading myself, and that does affect him. To some degree. Now, there's times where I get into trouble and you're doing just fine. Like last Friday. You did fine on last Friday. I think I lost $6,000 or some shit. We recouped it yesterday, and we're good to go. But it took 2 days. But last Wednesday, the market changed. And I had been talking about this type of price action. It's not just volatility. You're not just dealing with volatility. You're not dealing with VIX 50 or VIX 12 or VIX 20. If we're in VIX 20, like you said earlier, the price action can change drastically. It's a different flavor of price action. Like micro ranges, for example, today we've been getting a lot of like medium-sized ranges. Yesterday, that wasn't happening. We weren't getting any clean patterns on the price action. And him and I are operating on a 1-second chart right now. During VIX 50, we really went up, and we had to pay attention more to the 30-second and the 10-second for our lower time frame. Now we've come down, where we're looking more at the 10 and the 1. The reason we're looking at such small time frames is on such a small time frame, like a 1 minute, I'll just show real quick, than they do on a higher time frame, because on a higher time frame, all that low time frame chop is really fucking and skewing the higher time frame shit. So the thing is, Wednesday rolls around, and that, again, VIX 50, it's not the same. We could be tight or we could be loose, because also the price action, it goes from tight to loose, where the price action is chopping tight and then it goes loose. I have a video on how I make trading decisions. Check it out. And then it'll go from loose and it'll go to tight. So it can do that in VIX 50. And is VIX 50 ranging? Is it making clean patterns? And before VIX 50, we were getting a lot of clean patterns. When you and I started first coaching, we were getting something called fake out price action, where they're basically fucking both sides. And I was telling you last week, I'm like, we haven't seen fake out in a while, because we were getting blessed with like clean patterns over and over. And I go, we haven't been seeing fake outs. And then Wednesday rolls around and it starts faking out. And what's really hard about volatility changes is you have to shift gears mentally. And it's like, I can't go for these fucking 5, 10, 15-point layups anymore. It's over with. And VIX receded in so fucking hard. And that's probably what's fucking some of you guys. Somebody said I got wrecked so hard being an idiot trying to trade ES during JPOW. I was up 1,400 before 10 a.m. I need some serious self-control. It goes to the guy's first comment that my trading is based off of emotions. Some styles are less mentally fatiguing. I don't really see that being the case, but I could be wrong. I just haven't seen it yet. And real quick, Parker asked, what does Chronic want in life? And how does he see trading serving that purpose? What is motivating you to keep coming back after 4 years? Why are you doing this? Like,
it's and that's something that has also changed over the last 6 weeks. Um, I used to shoot for mediocrity. Like I used to want to be mediocre. I wanted, like maybe a 30,000 salary, maybe a 40,000 salary from trading. Um, just have some extra cash. That's what I really wanted, and we all got into it for money. I remember the first day I ever placed a trade was, I could probably tell you the exact day. It was like April 2021, and it was my motivation. I was like, I'm gonna place this trade, make money, and I'm gonna be rich, and I'm gonna have a Lamborghini. I'm gonna buy a Rolex. It's gonna be awesome. Um, and over the last 2 to 3 years, my expectations got a lot more realistic to the point where I was like, all right, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to have to put in a lot more work than I thought, a lot more sacrifices. But I was still always just shooting for mediocre. That has kind of changed in the last couple of weeks where I've been given this incredible opportunity. I can sit next to someone who
Well, what's
is an
interesting
industry
is
veteran.
you got picked because your review processes were not mediocre. You were actually doing the fucking work.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
Consistently.
is something.
Like his journaling was on another fucking level. And he
Yeah.
would post it every day.
And that's something that you and me have started exploring in the last couple days is like, be proud of that.
I had
you
a
know?
feeling when people go mediocre, that means they're giving up on life.
Mhm.
Hate to say it. And I think a lot of the turbulence you might be feeling, because his emotions are just, they're getting dialed in, but he still has those pendulum swings like any of you fucking do, right?
Mhm.
I feel like you're going through a phase where you're kind of, you can correct me if I'm wrong, where you're battling mediocrity. Do you maybe just shutting the fuck down? Because it seems like it happens in your trading like yesterday, and then you come out crushing it. And then we did have a good hypnosis session when I made that 30-minute track or whatever for the new one. When we first recorded that, you were fucking amped up, and it seems, I don't know, are you battling between those two worlds?
Yeah. And I think I always have. Like I think even going through like high school and stuff, like people were talking to me about going to college and I was like, I don't need to go to college. Why would I go to college? I want a $30,000 salary, I want to smoke weed every day. I want to drink some beer, play some video games, and that's it. That's all I want out of
That's
life.
all you ever wanted? You never wanted more?
No, not until trading. And I think, and it scares me to think about this, but I think if I had never discovered trading, I would still be in that mindset of mediocre, because what I want out of life now is to solve the problem, man. Like I want to figure out how this works. And I want to be the best. I want people to look at me and say, he figured it out. Like he figured it out. He does something that 99% of people fail at. And in order to be that top 1%, I'm going to make 6 figures. I'm going to make 7 figures, And it's irrational, but it has to be. Nobody ever became a successful trader by shooting for mediocrity. You have to be irrational, and I want it. I want it more than I've wanted anything in life, man. And it's starting to. I think you said it perfectly a couple weeks ago. I forget what video you said it in, but you were like, I recommend all these traders come into the Discord and post daily and wave 2 backup. Worst case scenario, you're gonna become a better trader.
Yeah,
And that's kind of like trading in a microcosm. It's like you can come here and try to be a trader, and you might fail. You're probably gonna fail. But if you give it your all, if you really, really put the work in, worst case scenario, you're gonna become a better person. And trading has made me a better person, all around. 100% is not even a question.
Yeah, and there's Wave 2 guys that have organized themselves, and I don't really deal with them. And Yuki's really pushing for it. And they're all holding each other accountable. They gave each other passwords for their rhythmic accounts to lock each other out. And they're doing the work. And I said this in a video before, like, I may not pick you for the prop firm because, I mean, I've already been working with one guy for a month and a half at this point. And I'm not going to stop. To me, I can't just keep working with a shitload of people. It's just not going to work. It's like one guy, get him through. He's going to have to learn how to teach other people. Then one more fucking guy. It's quality. And I said this in prior videos, and the Discord's open, by the way. If you join the Wave 2 and you just do the work, you're probably just going to get better. And that's what you were referring to just now. And circling back to mediocrity, because you're married, and, you know, I'm in a relationship too. I think everybody's woman wants their man to be the best version of themselves and to not settle for mediocrity. You've mentioned that your relationship has improved. And I wonder if that's because you're not settling for mediocrity anymore. You're attempting to... By the way, what's up, Cirrus Trades? You're not settling for mediocrity. You're coming out. Why do you think your trading's or your relationship's improving?
I'm more driven in what I do each day, and I want everything around me to be optimal so that I can do that. I don't get me wrong, like, my apartment's a mess right now, you know, and like I'm gonna have to do the dishes later, and like I leave dirty laundry on the floor and stuff like that. But every day I'm looking for things that I can improve, including my personal relationships with my wife or my coworkers or my family, so that I can come into the next trading session better. And now I don't want this to be completely focused around trading, because something could happen in my life tomorrow where I couldn't trade and I'd have to give it up forever. I would still carry that with me. I strongly believe that I would still be on this road to personal improvement, even if it wasn't for trading. But it would have never even started had it not been for trading. Like working out, eating healthy, you know, being happier, practicing breathing exercises, meditating, getting better sleep. It's all towards trading, but it's just lifting me up, and it's making me a better person, and I'm more confident, and my wife can see that, and my coworkers can see that, and everyone I interact with, and everyone that I affect in my daily life can see that, hey, this guy's confident. He wants something out of life, instead of that loser who hasn't showered in 2 days and he's just kind of floundering through life, doing whatever comes at him next, you know?
Yeah, you're also at like 25, right?
27.
Yeah, you get that quarter life crisis. Great explanation and insight. Chronic seems like the type of dude that's going to kill it big time eventually. Some traders have it in their DNA. Yeah, I think it's the fucking guys that then go to college. I don't know. There's something about, and I know some of you went to college or in university, but it's some of the really smart guys, because I didn't go to college either. I went to trade school. But it seems like a lot of the real smart fucking guys struggle the worst at it. Because it's a fucking game, really, to be fair. And the markets don't give a fuck about your education. But when we did your hypnosis, it was almost like a psychedelic trip for you at the last session.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like you had a breakthrough, almost like a fucking psychedelic trip, where you started to realize that trading was not what you thought it was. You had a epiphany, a realization. Can you share that?
It's tough for me to say what that realization was in trading terms because trading is so nuanced and there's no black and white. But I think personally, the conclusion that I came to and what we really focused on in that hypnosis session was that I survived VIX 50.
Yeah,
And
I'm very proud of him for this. Because I was trolling around on fucking day trading Reddit, and people were getting murdered, and you survived. Continue. Sorry. So you survived.
and that was something that you tried to really hammer down with that hypnosis. And the thing that stood out most to me was that I've always had a level of pride. Like, I don't let people walk all over me or anything like that, but I never really had pride. I never really accomplished anything in life that I was proud of. I mean, getting married and like, there's things I've done that are impressive and I'm proud of, but nothing that really hit me to my core and made me truly happy with who I am. And something that sparked a flame inside of me and made me think, wow, that's awesome. That's really cool. And it's not necessarily just VIX 50, that's just a blip in my trading career. But I think to come how far I have and to survive VIX 50 is such a huge sign of improvement. And it made me realize, I'm like, not only can I do this, but I am doing it. A lot of people, they set these goals for themselves and they have all these ambitions, but they never make any progress towards it. And you get trapped, and next thing you know, you're 70 years old thinking, what did I do with my life? And for me to be 27 years old and to see every day that I'm making progress towards something that's life-changing is a feeling I've never had before. It's just sparked something inside of me that makes me feel like I could conquer the fucking world, And that's not to say that tomorrow I'm not going to be down in the dumps, And I think yesterday was a perfect example of that, where I was like, I was down in the dumps, because that's life, dude. Life is yin and yang, and some days you're going to be super happy, some days you're going to be really bummed out, and I think just heading in that right direction, it's like bankrolling. You just keep that curve heading in the right direction,
So what's interesting, some people are fucking, he needs therapy, his self-talk is awful. I don't believe in fucking talk therapy. I think it's fucking bullshit. Because I got certified in hypnotherapy and all that shit. Fucking therapist, in my opinion, I'm not saying don't get therapy, but with us doing hypnotherapy or hypnosis sessions, he has broken habits. He used to be really bad at fucking catching knives. It's stopped. And the quality of his life is improving. You guys got to understand it. I've been with him every day for a month and a half. He's telling you guys his life is fucking improving. Therapy or whatever the fuck you try to do to improve your life doesn't just switch. And, someone says you struggled most of your life. I don't know. There's a lot to be proud of. Doesn't matter. Some people are like fucking bloomers. And he's trying to turn his life right the fuck now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I never said that I was useless. I know I'm useful and I provide value, but it was more so.
I mean, you
I
made
never had
custom
that
game
feeling.
controllers for people at one point. You have done things.
Yeah, I have a lot of shit to be proud of. I'm incredible at my job. Not to blow smoke up my own ass,
regular
but
job. Yeah.
Yeah, my full-time job is awesome and I'm great at it and I have natural talents, and I am funny and charismatic and I make people laugh and I have great friends, I have great relationships, but I struggled to acknowledge that. And I think a lot of guys struggle to acknowledge it, you know, like you do provide value in this world. Um, and that's something that's changed over the last couple months for me is like I am now more content with who I am and I'm so happy about it. You know, it's like I do this for me. Before, a lot of what I did was how can I make myself better for my wife? How can I make myself better for trading? How can I make myself better for school or work? But now it's like, how can I make myself better for me? You know,
So you
like
were
how
doing a
can
lot of
I?
shit for other people, huh?
Yeah, I've always been that way. It's always like, what can I do for this person? What can I do for this purpose?
That
What can I?
what's interesting is there's these different levels of what is it fucking called? It's these different levels of the way you carry yourself through life, and you kind of have to go through all of them.
Mhm.
The bottom one is like survivability, and then it becomes tribalism, and then doing something for the tribe, and then the next level is selfishness, which most of our society. Ah, fuck, I might have this somewhere. Like this chart, it's like called Aqual or some shit. Do I have it? I think it's this right here. Yeah, right here. It's these different levels. Control, like this is like selfishness, number 3, and then belonging. This is going to be like being a part of an organization. Achievement, this is going to be more entrepreneurial. And then not too many people are up in these upper deals, but the people who are up here have like really achieved shit. Then it becomes more about trying to help society and shit.
Mhm.
And what's interesting is I learned that you can't skip some of these steps. So if you were always trying to belong and you never really had your selfish phase where you were doing things for yourself, you can't really progress. It's kind of like the fucking hippies and shit. They're about society and shit, but they never really went through all this other stuff. So they tend to have problems. But it's like, now it's interesting you're saying you're doing things for yourself. And that's the thing, guys. I'm going to be doing more conversations with him when he passes this combine. We're going to retouch on it. When he withdraws his first $10,000, we'll come back to it. I mean, this is the first episode with him publicly, and what you guys got to understand is, he's growing as a person. I can tell you that for a fact. He's growing as a person, and it's my opinion. Those of you who've watched enough of my content, it's not just about the money. It's about you have to change. You have to be the best version of your fucking self in order to trade, hands down. Somebody actually has a question for you. How does watching other professional traders help us evolve? Like Merritt Black, for example, who you talk about a lot. I believe that as a technique, we only learn by watching someone else do it. I can tell you that this has been a very interesting experience with him, because this is the first time I've really like coached this intense with somebody. I'm learning a lot, by the way. There's no fucking course on how to coach a trader to success. I think there's going to be a difference between watching Merritt and maybe sitting in a live stream than somebody sitting there like I am with Chronic. Because, again, we share a Sierra charts. When I draw, he sees it. When I zoom in and out, that's why I like Sierra charts. It's zooming in and out on his screen. I'm not streaming it to him. Sierra charts has a share feature now, so we can share charts. So him and I are very much looking at the same thing, trading together. I don't really consider myself professional. I'm not satisfied with my trading. I think it could be tremendously better. I don't think that ever goes away. And I know you're referring to Merritt, who's more professional than me. I'm pretty confident in my abilities, though. I'll say that much. maybe Chronic, you can speak on how does watching another trader help you evolve?
Well, I think if I was just sitting in your live stream with you, watching you trade, there would not be nearly as much benefit. It's the fact that it goes two ways. We're talking back and forth. You're not just telling me. You're also asking me. I'm telling you stuff. I'm saying, "Hey, Fat Cat, I noticed this. I noticed a double top.
Yeah, he's helping me
We're
too.
V flushing.
He's
you
seeing
know?
shit I ain't even fucking seeing. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. He's gotten me into good trades too.
Yeah, it's less so. Like I don't even consider this coaching anymore. It's team trading. Like he is my teammate. I take trades and I know that he's gonna back me up. It's kind of I was telling him a couple weeks ago. It's kind of like marriage where your burdens are split, but your enjoyments are doubled. It's like the burden of a bad trade is split with my teammate, but the joy I get out of a winning trade is doubled because we both get to experience it.
Yeah, and
And not to
I
get
keep
too
you out of
mushy,
some bad fucking trades too.
and that's the real kicker, dude.
But
Is like,
sometimes I let him step on a landmine. Sometimes because there's a fine line of, because there will be, like yesterday, he had trouble. So I told him, put on a trade here, put it on here, take it off here, put it on here. So there's times where I'm pushing him. I'm like, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. But there's a fine line that I'm trying to figure out of freedom and control and trying to let him kind of bang around in there. So for you, it's different. I mean, how does it help you evolve?
I think I don't think it's necessary as much as I really appreciate this working relationship that you and me have. I think what has really made the biggest difference is just having a teammate. But what makes this team trading so special, I think, is that you and me have very similar MOs. And I know when you eventually set me free and go on to the next trader, you might have different MOs. And I think that's going to be your real test, is traded with
Yeah,
another
I think
trader who has a
so.
different MO than you.
Yeah, Yuki.
Um, but I think had I just found a different teammate who had a similar MO than me, I could have achieved similar results. Not nearly as powerful because you have 8 years of experience. You're consistently profitable. We have tools that other people don't, including the Tradecraft software and the Sierra charts and stuff like that. Um,
Well, the
but
sharing. Yeah.
the sharing exactly. But I think to circle back to the original question, it's not necessarily about watching someone who's already successful. I would say it's more important to find peers. Find people who are on the same journey
Yeah.
as you, but they need to be similar to you. Like you can't pair up a scalper and a swing trader. And there are different styles of scalping, there are different styles of holding, there's so many nuances to trading, and it's going to be really hard to find that person who aligns with you.
You
But
did.
I think once you do, that's more important.
Yeah, that's where we're really trying to cultivate a team experience. Now, you did. Maybe you can talk from the perspective of before this ever happened.
Mhm.
Like, how does watching another professional trader help us evolve, like Merritt Black? You watched me trade before we really started communicating. It's different.
It is. It's so much different. I mean,
Was it
as
helpful at all to watch somebody else trading without that interaction on a
it
deep?
was helpful on a technical basis, like it helps me figure out price action, but that's just one tiny piece of the puzzle, man. There's so much more to trading than just technical analysis, like how to manage a trade, how to control your emotions, how to bankroll, like how to review properly, how to actually learn from that review. Because I've been reviewing for a long time, and I can tell you, I've never gotten as much value as I do from team review. When I'm reviewing with you and we're both looking at the trade, holy shit. Then I
Yeah.
really get it,
Yeah, and it's
Like
helping me
that's
grow
when the
too.
sparks are flying.
It's helping me grow too. doing that. I'm getting better too. I have to be better. And I have to lead by example because I used to be complacent about reviewing. I've learned so much from watching Merritt live. Also took his Nadjo course and watching him live trade. I've done it too. It's priceless. Best way to learn is from watching guys like him. Yeah, when I first got into this, it was John Grady. That was the guy. 2 weeks of like live. It was so beneficial. I'll tell you this though, because I've sat there and traded and people just watch me ask questions like you guys do. But then when I sit down and I actually am like straight hands on like I am with Chronic, there's a fucking huge difference because like when you guys are watching another trader, there's a lot of shit you're fucking missing or you're not getting. And I can call him out and correct him on that. I'm like, don't get in that trade. This is why. And then he doesn't do it. Or I'm like, why did you do that? And then just shit he's not aware of. And then it also is an emotional thing as well. Like I've said in the beginning of this video, I have not dealt with traders who have not had psychological fucking problems with this. It's not happened yet. The moment somebody sits down and I get to know them on a personal basis, or I'm with... Oh, my girlfriend just showed up. Hey, say hi to everybody. There's 3 million people.
Hi.
All right. Don't look at me. I can't look at you. I'm doing a show. I don't know where the fuck it is. So I have not, until I sit down with somebody and deal with somebody trading. I would say okay, maybe there is somebody who isn't emotional. That would be fucking Miller. But he does crumble a little bit. If there's anybody who's fucking stonewalled, he's not in here right now, but if there's anybody who's like just a stonewall good fucking trader, it's him. And he's a really the glass is half full guy. But I know that he gets in his head, but not to the level I've seen most people. So maybe it does exist. That's the thing. Sitting with him, I can tell when he's getting in his head. I can tell. That's the problem. When you watch another trader like Merritt, John Grady, yeah, you're getting this technical shit, but man, there's just so much fucking missing. The psychological shit isn't addressed enough, and you can't manage your way out of shitty fucking psychology. It's not gonna happen. Do you really believe you can teach people your style? Do you not think trading needs to be personal? Axia new book goes into depth on this with their 7-figure tradings. Well, I'm doing it different than everybody else. I know people who've worked at or work at certain firms. And I know, because I've asked a lot of questions, I want to know what does the coaching look like? Are they team trading? Are they not team trading? And it's very personalized. It probably is like that at Axia. What's interesting, though, is with S&B, some years ago, they started talking about team trading. 2 guys manage 1 account. And they noticed they were having a lot of success with that. Mike Bellafury had a tweet not too long ago where he continued to talk about the importance of team trading. So I think some years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, they started going into that realm and it started working. Not to mention they do have senior traders teaching the juniors. Now here's the deal. Chronic and I have very similar modus operandi, which is the way we do things. I'm a 7. He is a 2. I'm a 3, right? 6, 5, 6, 4. We're pretty similar. We're in the same category. So this is the way we fucking operate. Same thing when we're dissecting trades. Him and I are both very detailed oriented. Some of you guys, some people that watch my channel are like, just get to the fucking point. It's because they need shit simplified. For us, we're very specific. Chronic and I are very specific. Typically, people who are high reds are specialists. If you're in the middle category, you kind of operate between, I don't need too many specifics, but I need enough that it's not super bullet point. And the way we go through our trades, him and I are looking for as much information as possible to make a decision. Now, sometimes we go retard mode. And him and I are in the middle. This is going to be risk. I'm a 6. He's a 5 right here. So the ability to adjust, change, check things out before trying them. The people who are going to be way down here are going to be more risk-seeking. They're going to be more putting on risk. Those are the people who can't seem to control themselves. What's interesting is my developer for Tradecraft is really high in that level. And he had to code up things to help him from continuing to go into a cycle of self-destruction. Whereas guys who are in the lower category of the green, and I'm noticing that with the traders because a lot of them took the test and it's like, oh shit, this explains stuff. It's how you operate if you're free to do things your way. Guys low, green, they're going to fucking not be as risk-seeking. Like Yuki, for instance. He's really double-checking everything. He's highly systematized. He's clean, he's organized. And like Chronic told you earlier, his place is a mess, my place is a mess. We just take our fucking clothes off and throw them. People who are usually high blue, they organize, put shit up. And everybody who's taken this test, I asked them about their environment. And it's fucking fascinating because that's exactly what it is. So Chronic and I have shitty follow through. We need shit simple. That's why the Tradecraft software, I want it to be like as simple because doing the review process is a pain in the fucking ass. And I need tagging to be simplified. And the developer is low blue as well. So these are people who don't really complete tasks. They very ADD. And then this is like implementer. This is like him and I are in the middle. We can envision solutions versus somebody on the other extreme who needs to build it out before they can visualize it. So him and I are in the middle there. So our MOs are very similar. We're in the same columns, very close to each other. And what's interesting is when I was talking, before we took this fucking test, out of all the traders in the lineup, I always thought Chronic, and I'm like, this guy fucking gets it. This guy, I get this guy. Like, I feel like we're on the same level. Whereas when I talk to Yuki, here's mine versus Yuki. The blue and the green are super opposite. When I talk to Yuki, I feel like it's like we're not really clicking. But the thing is, he's not as ADD because he's got that high blue. So he needs to finish a thought. He processes it. And then it literally takes him 24 fucking hours. Then he gets it. It's fucking so different with Yuki. And I'm like, is the shit I'm saying registering to him? And then like 24 hours later, it clicks. And because I have 2 people working with me on Tradecraft, and I organize the way they work based off of this shit, and it's working out a lot better, which is interesting. So, can I teach somebody my strategy? Miller is having success with it. I could probably pull up his fucking journal. Give me a minute. Miller, and then there's somebody else. I had a video called a success trader story or whatever. It's somebody named Parker. He comments in here. He's in the Discord. He's the one who made $10,000 in 20 days on 4 lots. He's modeling my system. Now, he has modified it and skewed it a bit, where there is that individuality. His MO is a little different than mine. He's high red, and his green and his blue are both 4s, so he has a little better follow through. He can be a little more systematic than me. So he is modifying what I'm doing a bit, and he's having success, but he's been listening to me forever. I don't think anybody can trade like me unless they really commit to it. Like Merritt. I didn't commit to his system. I always modified everybody's shit, which is interesting because I'm a modifier. I never could just stick to the thing. So Chronic has the same MO, and what's interesting is when he trades, he's seeing what I'm seeing, and he's like on point. And there are days where he's in the zone and he's getting into trades better than me. We get into trades at exactly the same area. He's like, I think I'm going to go long here. And I'm already like long at that exact price. And because I don't really tell him I'm going in or out. I do kind of, but I don't want it to be a habit because he can't be taking trades because I take trades. I need him to make his own fucking decisions. Right? Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish, he'll be able to eat for life, right? You wondering what the fuck those are, huh? Yeah, I'm going to be a gymnast. I got these gymnast rings. And she's like, what the fuck are these? Yeah, I'm going to start doing backflips and shit. A few days ago. Anyways. So, let me pull up Miller shit real quick. I got to make sure. I don't know. He's having a lot of success. He's ready. In my opinion, Miller is ready to... He's consistent. He's in the lineup. He's been following me forever. He's done my coffee. He's made huge notes on my shit. It took him like... He watched every one of my YouTube videos. So it really depends on you. Are you going to commit? And I'm not... I think the true testament of my ability, of my material, is if these guys can find success with it. I mean, Chronic, while I'm digging through this, I don't know. Do you want to maybe talk about, is there edge there? Are you seeing some form of, with what I'm doing?
Well, yeah, I mean, I struggled, so I started trading futures about a year ago, a little more now, actually. And I was struggling. I was floundering all over the place. And then I discovered your YouTube channel. I actually saw it recommended on Reddit by somebody. And at first I was like, this guy's fucking crazy. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But I kept revisiting the videos, and eventually I realized I was like, oh, he's recording hours-long videos. Who can do that? Who can just sit in a chair and talk about one thing for hours on end unless they really know what they're doing and they really care? And that was my kind of initiation into his
You thought
system.
I didn't know what I was talking about?
Fuck no, dude.
Why?
You know, the way you talk, the way you swear like a sailor in every video.
Because it doesn't look like everybody else's shit.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, I watched you talk about.
I'm
Hypnosis
borderline
wearing a
insane, though, I
bathrobe.
think. You know? I'm
That's-
absolutely
that's-
nuts. So that's kind of that crazy shit comes out.
It
But
does,
anyways,
but that's what makes it
you
entertaining.
kept fucking
like
watching.
Yeah, I kept watching these hours-long videos, and I was like, okay, he is going way in depth here. Like, he's got to know what he's talking about. So I started applying what he was teaching. And you just covered it on the MO page. Like, I am an information guy. And it doesn't seem like that. My whole life I thought it was the other way around, but I really am. Like, when I watched those hours-long videos, I would bust out a notebook and I would watch the video 10, 15 times over, and I would really try to digest every piece of information. And it had a huge effect on my trading. Huge. Now, I was still inconsistent. I was still unprofitable, but it gave me that push to know, oh, this is possible. Like, you can be a successful futures trader. It just takes hard work. And then I joined the Discord, and I was able to watch him trade on the hard right edge, and I was doing that for a while. And then when it finally came time to coaching, and this is something that's so important about the whole team trading thing, and it kind of circles back to the question earlier about watching someone like Merritt Black trade. When you and me first started coaching, you looked at what I was looking at, and you're like, dude, that is outdated as fuck. Like, this is all old. You got to get rid of it. You got to scrap it. And we essentially had to start where one. I was still looking at things like stock correlations and index correlations.
Yeah, I kind of
volume
deviated
profiles.
from that. Yeah.
And that's something that's going to affect you if you're just watching someone's trading content from a couple years ago. It's like, they're not doing that anymore. They changed. Like, I bet if you watch Merritt Black trade on the hard right edge, he's not doing all the shit that he fucking was doing a couple years ago. You have to change. That's trading. You're not just going to learn one system and, oh, I did it. I beat trading. I'm good for life. You know, it doesn't work that way. It's so much more nuanced than that.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so hard for Fat Cat to teach his system over a platform like YouTube. And while, like I said, it slingshotted my trading watching his YouTube.
Yeah, I have a
but
video
not
called,
as much as coaching.
I have a video on why courses suck, actually, and the problem, because like Parker's been around for a long time, the guy that made 10 grand in 20 days. He's been around watching me forever, and what's interesting is he says, you know, these guys have watched me evolve and change. Those that have been around for a long time, and that's the thing. I think course material is tough because like the market regime changes, the material is filmed in a specific environment, and as a trader, are you not growing and evolving? Right? So I'm changing, and we looked at a lot of correlations. The reason I was looking at a lot of correlations was because the VIX was shit. 12. Maybe it'll come back, but as it started to like loosen up, I went straight back to just pure ES. And then also people are like real shocked, like, oh, you don't look at profile anymore. It's like, well, I've drawn so many of them, they're just ranges at this point. And there's problems with them. I've been fucked by them so bad that I understand the nuance, and it was always about price action. Got some questions here real quick. My dirty clothes are folded. How do I join the group? Prop firm there. So there's a video. There should be a link in here to go to another YouTube video that sends you to this Discord. When you come to this Discord, there's just a wave 2. Just get involved and talk with traders and just talk about the session, the day. Some guys start, but they don't follow through. People say they want to do it, but it's really in your actions. That's part of why I picked Chronic, because his reviews were bar none the best. And I don't know if I can pick. I mean, if I'm working with him for fucking a year or some shit, you know, who's going to be the next guy? But I'm telling you, if you get involved with these other traders, they're kind of breaking off, and I'll have conversations with you guys. And if you're trying to get paired up in teams, the guys that took the test, they got paired up. Like Yuki and Lucas work together and shit. And they're kind of starting to put together a pod. I've always wanted to do team trading. That's why I wanted to work at S&B so bad. And now it's like, fuck it, I'll make it happen at this point, because they didn't hire me. This was early in my career. I wasn't shit. But just join. Where can I learn more about these personality types? It's called the Colby Index A. It's like $55, but it's totally worth it if you lean into your MO. Thanks for what you do. One of the rare real people in the space. I'm just passionate about trading, and bro, I have not. I'll tell you this. I don't watch trading content, and I haven't for a long time. Occasionally, something will pop up. I mean, if it's Mike Belfiore giving a speech, I'm on it. If it's Dr. Brett Steenbarger, I'm on it. I've kind of felt it a wayside with other people, but I have not watched content, and my God, the content from when I first started in like 2016 till now has gotten atrocious. It's not the people who used to make content, it was really technical shit. Now it is literally this Mr. Beast sort of bullshit where it's like, it's not even technical. It's not technical anymore. And we'll see if the less technically inclined people, the people who are low red on that test, I'm curious to see if there's this type of MO that can do good at this. But trading is extremely sophisticated. There's no fucking... I'm not seeing it. Like, I deal with guys that are very honest with me about their struggles. And I tell you guys when I'm getting fucked up, they seen it. You know, like last Friday, I fucking blew it out bad. And I talked about it. It wasn't a horrible blowout, but there's just been times where I get into trouble, and these guys have seen me get tilted before. So they're real honest about their emotions and shit, and like, I know what the reality of trading is, and it's more sophisticated and technical than what a lot of people seem to present in content. And the problem with and I know you might need to go, Chronic, just let me know. But like, it's just kind of this. I've been doing this for so long. When I hear certain people talk, it seems like it's all the same shit. It's like, give me something new, give me something interesting, give me some fucking crazy shit. How are you dealing with volatility? Where have you struggled? What have you done recently to fix the problem? That's what it is. For me, this is passion. I'm coaching Chronic for fucking nothing. And if he blows up and disappears, that's a month and a half down the shitter. Obviously, we're going to split when he gets funded 50-50. But I'm going to keep pushing him because I think I can get... I think other traders need other traders to push them to 6-figure, 7-figure earning potentials. I mean, if you look at the guys in these tier 1 prop firms, they're getting there faster, bigger, because they have the support. Dr. Brent Steenbarger talks about it. You can't be a gold medal Olympian without a proper fucking team. And I like team sports. I like being a part of that. I want to create it. And we'll see what fucking happens. Let's see real quick. Yo, Cat, it's been a very long time since last time. I'm getting back to trading, even though I never left. I'll try the futures desk. Do you have an affiliate link? Or I don't. They might be out there. Go look for them. I'm only using them. They know who I am. They've watched me for years. I'm not willing to back traders with my own money. To me, it's really fucking risky. To do that, I'm not as risk. It's funny because I can trade like an animal, but like when it comes to like I don't invest really. I mean, real estate, but for me, it's like real safe shit. Like I'm hesitating to buy gold right now, and I want to get into gold. And so for me, it's like I want to get the money from somebody else. And we were planning on using combines, but the problem is they get really pissed off and they'll fucking flag you. One time somebody gifted me a fucking earn a trade account. I passed it and it took 15 days, but I would just do it on occasion, right? And I go, hey, we want to transfer this account. And they're like, nope, sorry. And I'm like, what the fuck? You don't give a shit that there's a consistently profitable trader on the other end of this account? I mean, it was passed. Who gives a shit how it was fucking passed? It was done within the rules. So that's why we're using the futures desk, because we could have potentially got our accounts flagged and blown out. And I know there's been issues on his end. Maybe Chronic, you can talk about it, where they've helped you out. But they know what we're fucking doing. They're willing to split. They said if this doesn't work, you can come work for us. So, because they do coaching too. It's not at this level, but they do offer it. Even before you're funded, you can request it. Do you want to speak on your service with them? I don't know. You're the one who's going through it.
That's fair. That's fair. It's you get what you pay for, man. They are probably like up there in terms of the price that you pay for an account, but you get what you pay for, dude. Customer service is like within 2 minutes they get back to you, and they will do everything they can to help you. I don't get paid for trying to gas them or anything like that. I'm just saying I've had a very good experience with them. I can't speak to payouts, but I really enjoy their payout system, at least on paper, which is essentially that you pay for the account, you pass, and then the money you make initially is your buffer. So they do take risk by moving you to a live account, but it's the risk that you've already earned, if that makes sense. The catch is that they can, if you blow that and they risk that money on you, they're done with you. They're just going to close your account, which they have every right to do. You know, they're not under any contractual obligation, which I think is a good thing. I think of all these prop firms who are like, anyone and everyone can trade and we'll pay you out no matter what.
Well, they're banking on failure.
There's something fishy going on there.
They're banking on failure, and I think we're going through a renaissance with these combines, because you have Merritt's ex-partner Ryan, who started Rain Trading. I know him. I don't know too much. I just happen to know one of the guys that works with Josh at TFD, who's been in my trading room forever, and they just kind of wanted to share what they were doing with me, and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to start a firm. It's not like competition to you guys by any means. This is different, because I don't want to do like tryout fees, because I would have to limit it, and if too many, I want to like coach one guy at a time and start building out team stuff. So oh, it's fucking Luca. Holy shit. That's who asked the question. Ah, sorry, guys. I don't know if you're still in chat. I remember having a conversation with this guy a long time ago before I fucking moved. I think you were battling between school and here. And trading, weren't you? And I told you to fucking stay in school or some shit. I know you and I had a life talk. Because I've had a few with traders who are like, I don't know what to do. For me, I'm always like, don't make trading priority. Well, that's good you've come back. A lot of shit has changed. I've gotten substantially better. Yeah, but you can probably find discounts. I just don't want to be an affiliate to combines. I just don't. Even though they seem pretty good and we're using them and I'm happy and grateful for that shit, I just don't want to be I don't know, there's something about just pushing combines. I just don't want to do it. I mean, I have my own trading journal. That's what I push for my coffee subscription. That's about it, you know. And then obviously I try to do what I can for the community for free, like this Discord or shit like that. Are you profitable with verified track record? Yes, I am. I mean, feel free to come into the fucking Discord and watch me trade. I don't know. Am I pretty good at it? Chronic's been trading with me. All these motherfuckers have been... These fucking people have been sitting with me for a long time. And I sit there and I call out the trades every fucking day and fucking post them. But I'll tell you, the last guy that asked me that question and got a broker statement, he fucking disappeared. The people who try to get these verified records, they're really rude and fucking mean, and then when you give it to them, they fucking go away and they disappear into the fucking abyss. So to tell you the truth, I'm not here to impress you. Like, if you don't find value in what I share, and I don't, you know, a track record is one thing. I don't think that means shit. When you show up and you listen to somebody navigating the market every fucking day, that's what I want to see personally. So the first stream, some guy talked shit to me in this Discord, and then I shared a broker statement with somebody else who I said don't share it, and he shared it with that other guy, and then this motherfucker was so rude to me. He came into this fucking the first Hump Day episode and started apologizing. And I don't like those type of people. If you're going to be rude and disrespectful and mean in the beginning and demand shit, you know, and you're not. But I can tell you that shit doesn't fucking matter. Is what I'm telling you giving you value? If not, don't watch it. But we're sitting here doing it. And me and Chronic have been doing it together every day. All the trades are fucking recorded. We trade together. And when I have a bad day, I tell them. They know it. So.
Yeah, and he's got nothing to gain from it. You know, other than YouTube views. But we all know how much YouTube pays you.
It don't. It
Ain't
pay,
much.
my monthly estimate's $155.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not worth it for the amount of effort that you're putting into it.
But you know what? The real test is when Chronic gets his payouts. When he gets that first $10,000, that's my real test. So come back and see how that went, because I'm going to tell you this. If a trader is like, if they're real good and shit and they're providing all this crap, how does that benefit you? Because sometimes they can give you information that just doesn't fucking help you get better. I think what it is, though, is a lot of people get scared and they don't think it's possible. They think it's fucking bullshit. But, for example, I said I was going to pull this up earlier.
Real quick, man. I don't mean to interrupt, but I got to get going.
All right, we'll see you later, dude.
No worries, dude. Have a good one.
Here's another trader that's going to go through. He's in another position. He's ready to trade. This is Miller. I don't know. Some of you guys want everything. Some people just, it's not good enough. But this is how he's performing since. And Miller gave Chronic a pep talk. Let's double check here. Trade number, date. So he's been trading this account since November 5th, since the dawn of the journal. Miller's fucking good. Over 1,000 trades. He's more hyper scalping, and he's really leaning into the slip reclaim theory. We can see his tags. So he's really leaning in the slips and reclaims. That's really his A+ trade right there, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at his. He took one trade today. Let's look, and he still uses stock correlations. Let's look at the statistics on this. 625 slip favor trades. He has an 82% win rate, which is fucking high. This is the next guy, and I'm not telling you in the trading game you need to be careful from who you learn. I mean, I'll tell you this. As a new trader, absolutely. But, and this one guy that came in was really rude in the Discord some time ago. Fucking, just talk shit, because I wouldn't do it for him. He was being rude and trying to push me into doing it. I'm just not going to do that shit for people. Like, you're not going to come in and be rude and tell me what to fucking do. That's just not going to happen. And I think that you can learn from anybody. I've learned some bullshit from ICT. Is he full of shit? Probably, yeah. Can he not trade? No. He has a cult following. Are people trading from him? You can look at it how you want. I think there's value in what everybody has to say. That's the way I see it. Even if they're full of shit. And you can pick through it. Dr. Brent Steenbarger doesn't fucking really trade. He's not an elite performer. Should you not listen to him? That one guy that came, and this is the fallacy in trading that I think is absolutely misconstrued. Traders don't think they can learn from other traders who are not at a specific level, and that is complete fucking bullshit. There are, and that's what this trader also told me, is team trading's bullshit. It doesn't exist. It does. We're doing it. S&B's doing it. Dr. Brent Steenbarger, not the greatest he's a trading psychologist, right? He offers really great insights. There's professional coaches for professional athletic teams who were never professional players themselves that have taken teams to the end. I think that there's so much regurgitated bullshit in this industry. You can learn everything for free on the internet. And then there's a tribal mentality. There's us against the gurus, and I'm placed in the guru category. That's whatever. The problem, here's the difference between someone like me and you guys. A camera and a following. People that are in the comments section of anything, a Discord, a Reddit, a Twitter, that don't have a following, aren't an influencer, they give just as shitty of advice as some gurus. I think when it comes to looking at content, how much does it resonate with you? And in the end, it doesn't fucking... My success won't be your success. There's guys in this Discord that have watched me and Chronic trade together, and we have different fucking results. And it is a skill. There is a skill there, and I'm hands-on with him, giving him some freedom, but he'll make bad mistakes. That, like, my ability to have a good day is not transferring to him, so it doesn't really fucking matter. Does the content resonate, and do you think it can help you improve? And you have to take responsibility for the content you consume. Trying to blame other people for shit not working out, you're just putting the blame on everybody else. You need to take responsibility for the content you consume and you're going to consume bullshit. That's life. Life throws you bullshit. Even if you're not looking in the trading, if you're just living life, you go outside, breathe air or whatever, you know, you fucking get a flat tire. It's bullshit. Or, you know, maybe you had to go to high school, middle school. You might have had teachers that were bullshit, but you had to sit there and listen to it. And you can take life how you want. It's all in your fucking head. Maybe you can find something good in it. When I first did my first coaching series with Slim Trady, one thing that he said inspired him is, I remember I had a flat tire fucking 2 miles down the road. Or actually my car wouldn't start. And it was like at a gas station. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to just walk back home because I want to trade. And I had a buddy who was staying the night here, and he was sleeping. I was trying to call him to wake me up, and he wouldn't. And instead of getting upset saying, why didn't you fucking answer the phone? The way I took it was, fuck it. It's a beautiful day. It's good weather in Texas. I'm going to go for a nice walk. I enjoyed the walk. Came in, sat down, trade, and crushed it. So when it comes to, there's so much bullshit on the internet. AI is just as bad. It hallucinates, and it gets bad fucking information. That's just as bad as the information the gurus give out. It's just as bad of information as your fellow peers give out. But the thing is it's tribal mentality. It's like the liberals versus the conservatives. And what you guys tend to do is you put everybody in the same goddamn bucket. People do it with the liberals do it with the conservatives, but when you really get to know somebody on an individual fucking basis, that's when it's so nuanced and it's different. I have friends on both sides of the political spectrum. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's happening in the trading community, and yeah, there's bullshit out there, but I think you can learn from everybody. I can learn something from somebody whom I don't like. I can learn from every relationship I've had in my life that failed. And instead of blaming the other person that, oh, fuck you, you did this or that, what could I have done different? What did I learn from it? And how can I improve as a person because of it? Yeah, they could have fucked up. So I think there's this sort of mentality that doesn't quite understand what trading is, and a lot of the information is parroted and regurgitated. The trend is your friend. You can learn everything for free on the internet. No, you can't, because there's unlimited ways to trade, and there are people who are doing things that are not on the internet. One guy, John Locke, he's an options trader. There is nothing like him. He's the only motherfucker at the time who has a video on T+0 lines. And if you don't know what T+0 lines are in fucking options, it's because there's no videos on it. And the way he sets up his fucking option trades and shit, never seen, and I can't find anything like it. And there's guys who are doing shit that doesn't exist. So, yeah, you should be careful, but also the way you learn in life is by making fuck-ups. Do you know how many times I've fucked up? Do you know how many times I've paid for something that was just bullshit? Do you know how many times that's how you fucking learn? And life is not easy, and you're just going to deal with bullshit. And don't know how old you are, but I do feel the younger generation is... Apparently there's statistics on it, but this younger generation, you guys are at a real... You've dealt with a lot of helicopter parents, a lot of participation rewards, shit like that. You guys don't know how to fucking fail. The younger generation really has a hard time with failing. And there's a Navy SEAL who's teaching the new generation of Navy SEALs, which is the younger generation. And he says these fucking kids don't know how to fail. But they are very technically savvy. They can figure shit out really quick. They do have their advantages, but the ability to fail, it just doesn't. It's just that generation, man. So I don't know, dude. I have a different perspective on everything, but I mean, at this point, any document can be fucking faked, even if it's fucking verified. The real true testament is sitting there and slogging through it every day. And the people who are the most critical towards me are never there. And if they are in there, they talk a little bit of shit, or they're only there briefly. So either my content resonates or it doesn't, but I'm not out here to make everybody happy. I won't. And there's guys that are improving, and that for me is awesome. And they're improving for free. Like I got paid shit. I have a journal, right? That's to help people improve. I mean, I don't know if you think you can do this without journaling and stat tracking, but the guys that are doing it and doing the process, we're seeing them get better. And we're talking to each other every day, and they're honest and open about their fucking wins, their losses, where they're struggling, and we're just trying to get better together, you know. And some people just want to come and shit all over it, which I won't tolerate. So, you know, that's how is the financial MO report worth having for the Colby test? I don't know. I haven't done it. If you do the Colby Index A, that's the only one I've done. Please share your statistics with me. I'm going to have to cut this stream. Go to the Discord, share it in Wave 2. I'll be happy to sit down with you and we can talk about your trading. I've done it with almost everybody in the Discord, but if you do it, I'm very interested, because if you want to work with other traders, if you want to, you don't have to. We're trying to pair people up based off of that. What do you think about Burns, Skorborski? I don't know. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything about content. All I can recommend before I go is John Grady, but I don't know if his material's updated. Did he get me consistent? Absolutely fucking not. But it laid a foundation towards order flow, which I have my opinions on it, but I think reading a DOM is important. I think there's something subconsciously going on in my head. It's not going to give you the perfect trigger to get into a trade, right? Because somebody asked about tape reading. It's not going to say, you're not going to see the trigger to get in. I think it's like price action or anything else. It's a contextual building tool. Is the market thin? Is it thick? Are they reloading? Are they not reloading? How are the orders reacting off of each other? They spoof a lot. I think everybody can see order flow, that it's such a deceptive game at this point, because it has to be. Also, the book was a lot thicker when I started, 400 to 500 lot. My How to Read a DOM video, you'll see that. Now it's substantially thinner. But the same total volume comes in. So the same trades are coming in per day. They're just cutting the orders up. So we're in a different regime. I think we've gone through something where trading has changed. And I don't know if it was before COVID or after. Something has changed. Like profile plays used to be cleaner. Now they're sloppy as fuck. Something has shifted. So I have strong opinions on that. But he laid a foundation for me. S&B Capital, their advice on playbooking. Doing the work like Miller's doing with his tagging and looking at his statistics and going through his shit, because like he's looking at all sorts of shit. The learning from your own trading is the most important thing. I don't give a shit who you're learning from. I don't care if it's the shittiest motherfucker out there. I don't care if it's a Ross Cameron or whatever. I think if you look at anything long enough, you can figure it out and make it work, even with indicators. I think some people just look at these indicators for so long and they just see it. It's an illusion. I just see something with my style. I think you can copy virtually anybody's trading, and ultimately it comes down to proper psychology and management. You have to be fluid in your management, and I think you could make any fucking thing work. But doing the work is going to be the most, where you're going to get the most from it, which I praise a ton. So John Grady, I don't know if his shit's updated, though. Merit stuff, but regimes have changed since their first Nadro course. I know somebody on his desk. Most of them are Nadro traders, and he told me how well some of these traders are trading. I thought Gary Norton's $1,000 manual, when a 50-page PDF for $1,000, I paid for this fucking thing. I thought that was so useful because I already been trading order flow, and I could visualize it. It didn't have pictures in it. Did it get me consistent? No. You're responsible for your own consistency, and it's going to take you years. Realistically, if you're not doing the work, it doesn't matter. I have a trader sitting with me. It doesn't matter. You have to do the work. It's going to take you a very fucking long time because you have to experience every volatility shift. You have to understand how to trade price action when it changes. And you have to learn how to keep adjusting. If you never traded VIX 50, you probably got fucked up. But if you figured out how to trade VIX 50, when it happens again, it may take you a moment to adjust. When VIX 50 happens a third time, many years down the line, then you're like, oh, this is VIX 50. I know exactly what to do. Then you can trade it. When VIX goes real low, you never traded it, you're going to get fucked up. It's a lot more complex than somebody's fucking content. I mean, it really is. Is this live? Yes. What do you think about Forex trading? I don't know. I only trade ES. Okay, I guess all the fucking cocksuckers want to come into the chat. I've already discussed it. With who are you even talking? You seem very rude, actually. I think I'll ban you. Let's see. You can go to hell, and you can go to hell. Goodbye. All right. I'll put up with that bullshit. They want attention. That's what it is. With that being said, I hope it was a good stream. You enjoyed the conversation with Chronic, and I will see you in the next Hump Day episode.